Hello, everyone. My name is Tamara, and I'm one of your ventilators. I am so excited about this week's episode. But before we begin, let me introduce to you our wonderful ventilators. We have Yashika, we have Tia, and last but not least, we have your niece, your favorite cousin, your girl, Sabina.
Hey!
And tonight we'll be talking about three things. First thing is, seriously, pregnant in your 40s? The second bit is, vote for what? And last but not least, the third bit is, what did she say? So, okay, ladies, are we ready to get this party started?
Yes.
Ready. Awesome.
All right, so my vent tonight is 40 and older having children. What are your thoughts? I commend you. I really do. You're wiser. You have more of a grasp on life now. Go for it. Don't waste any time. You're more settled now. You have a better look on life versus in our 20s and our 30s. So if this is an opportunity that is an open door for you and your family, go ahead. Take advantage of it. Don't waste any more time.
Dorsey, you made me feel real bad about myself.
Go ahead.
And the reason why I said this is a little bit personal to me, right? Because I am over 40. I know y'all can't tell, but I am. And I want to have a child, and it is very scary to me right now. It's a very scary situation to be in because you hear so many things as it relates to being over a certain age and having a baby. And as black women, we have a higher maternal mortality rate that we have to consider. And it doesn't even matter about your socioeconomic factor when you're a minority in this state, because as we all heard, there's several celebrities like Beyonce and Serena Williams who had a lot of issues during their pregnancies, and due to the fact that they just didn't seem to be listened to when they expressed that they were having issues when they were giving birth or after the fact. And I have people who I know who actually have died in childbirth, and it's a hard decision to have a child at any age. It really is. Like you can be very young and it's still something that weighs heavily on you, and as you get older it can weigh extremely heavy on you. But I agree with you, Dorsey. She's like, go ahead, you got about 5 minutes left. It is and my OBGYN is saying the same thing. She's like, go ahead and push it through. But I think that it is beneficial to wait a bit, later in life, because you have settled and you know what you want and you're wiser, and you'll be able to hopefully impart upon the child a lot of things that you might not have given them if you would have had children when you were a bit younger and you thought a little bit differently. So it's a great thing. I'm excited about what my future holds because this, like I said, this is personal to me, but I also understand, not doing it when you're in your 40s.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree with everyone says. I had my two boys a little later. I wasn't over 40, but I was knocking on 40. My first one, 35. My second one, at 38. I was one of those women that talked to my doctor and talked to the hospital and was not heard, especially with my first son. I actually had him in a car because they kept sending me home saying that I did not understand. And this is your first child, So I do hear women when they say I was not heard because I was one of those women, but I do believe it is a blessing whenever you can have a child, to have a child you want to be a mother. There are a lot of women that wish they can be mothers, and so I don't want age or other people to discourage people to not have children because of fear. We serve a mighty God, and so if you are destined to be a mother, he's going to make sure that happens. And it doesn't look like you have to give birth. That's another thing about being a mom. It doesn't always have to be a natural birth. But if you can give birth, you can do it. I mean, look what he did for Sarah. She was old and she had a child, and she couldn't even believe it, but she was able to have a child. She was a great mother. So anybody out there that's over 40 that want to still be a mom, I would say go for it. Just pray about it.
Girl, you better bring the Bible in. I love it.
Amen.
Thank you.
Amen.
We can have a church these last minutes.
Go for it.
Thank you.
Go
Shamanana.
I commend you. Go for it.
I cannot.
Because I disagree. And they knew it. No, they all know it. Run for the border. Fast. They know I don't agree. Run for the border. If you got kids already, don't do it to yourself. Run for the border. It was run. We're going to the next video. Run. So we're going to do the next bit.
I can't do that.
Y'all know I disagree.
Right.
Run.
That's you too.
No, ma'am.
She's gonna be my godmother.
Perfect fit. Perfect fit.
Let me tell you.
Perfect fit.
I ain't 40, but I'm about 62. I feel it. They add age, wrinkles,
Say wait.
cut me open like a tree. I'm pretty sure it's 62 rings in it. Oh, well, I swear. We're going to do the next thing. Moving along.
Yes, ma'am.
I disagree. Alrighty, so I'm going to take the next event. The next event is vote for what? Now that we know Kamala joined Biden, I would like to know you guys' opinion on that whole situation. When people say that they're just not going to vote because they don't like who's running, what are your opinions in reference to that situation? So, I mean, look, let's just be honest. I'm not saying who you should and who you should not vote for. You vote for whoever fits your political policies. I'm not going to steer you right or left, but what I am going to push you to do is vote. One thing that we always focus on is how voting doesn't help. So what does it hurt though? We do so much other things in this world that, we don't help. How many of us have said, don't step on a crack, you're going to break your mama back? We know it doesn't happen, right? But we still will step over that crack.
Yeah.
So regardless of if you feel like it doesn't help or not, our grandparents did so much and great-grandparents did so much in order for us to be able to have this opportunity. Don't waste it over what you feel like it doesn't do. Do it because at the end of the day, too many people fought for you to do it. And whether you think it helps or it doesn't help, if it hurt or doesn't hurt, it does not, I'm sorry, but it does not hurt. It does not hurt you to do something, regardless of what you feel about it, just do the right thing. So that's it for me.
And I can agree with that. We've been oppressed for so long that we won't even do the things that we have the freedom to do. And I encourage anybody that can vote to vote.
No, and I think one of the biggest fallacies that we have is that we're focusing on voting on the person and not voting on the policy. We need to start considering that when it's time to go vote, you're not just voting for the president. You're also be voting for senators. You'll be voting for House representatives. You'll be voting for new laws that are going to be implemented. So you need to understand that there's a full spectrum of things that you're expected to do when you go to the voting polls. The person in and of itself might not be someone that you care about, but the policy is what you need to focus on, because the policy is going to be what impacts your day-to-day life. And if you're not an individual who doesn't care either way, then I'm going to say, okay, fine. If you don't care, you want to sit at home and you want to be quiet, I don't want to hear you talking about all the different issues that you don't like when you didn't go and vote and put your voice out there. Because you now have a duty, especially as a minority. All of us have the duty, but especially as a minority, you have a duty to vote. So silly. You have a duty to vote because not only did our ancestors not have the opportunity to vote, also white people died for us to vote as well. It wasn't limited to black people dying. That's just how important voting is. And if voting wasn't important, if someone can answer me the question, if voting wasn't important, why are they continuously trying to keep us from doing it? Why are they continuously trying to take our right to vote away?
Exactly,
Why is it all over the news? Why do we have gerrymandering? Why do we have district drawing? Why do we have all of these things if voting isn't important? Because no one tries to take something from you that's not consequential.
Exactly.
Why would I?
Yes.
Why would I take something from you if it didn't mean anything at all? And it's just a matter of you respecting the position that your ancestors played, that people have put before you in order to give you the opportunity to vote, and it's your duty and you need to do it. So vote.
Hear ye, hear ye. Our vote is needed.
Yes.
So please vote.
Yeah, I think you basically took the words out of my mouth. I definitely agree with everything you said. And that will be my same, I guess my same concern about people not looking at policy, they're just looking at people. But also, just being a black woman, first of all, black people weren't even allowed to vote until the 15th Amendment. And then they decided women can vote in the 19th Amendment, 1920s. So the fact that it took so long for them to even recognize that we should be able to vote, that we should have that right, that we're citizens, and then we're capable of voting. It's alarming to think that you have that right now and you refuse to do it. The fact that they had to put in, voting right acts so that we can actually go out there and not have to experience violence while we're trying to vote, or someone taking our job from us or threatening us constantly. That you better not go out there and vote. The fact that we have that freedom and you're not going out there so that you can make a sound is really alarming to me. So anybody, like you said, that can do it, they are every day taking away people's rights to vote in several states, and that's something that they're not changing. So if you have the right and you can vote physically to go out there and do it.
Do you guys remember when you used to young and people would say, all I got to do, when someone was like, you need to do this, you're like, all I got to do is be black and die.
Yeah.
Y'all remember saying that?
Stay black and die.
All I got to do is stay black and die.
Uh-huh.
So in today's time, because we're black, we're dying. So you need to vote so we can stop that.
Yes.
Amen.
Okay then. What shamana?
Amen.
Shamana, two shamanas in one segment. We had two shamanas in one segment.
Amen, sister.
Amen.
Shamana.
I can't with you. Okay.
Shamana.
Everybody get their vote on. Get your vote on.
Please.
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 Please. Please.
Our next vent for tonight is talking about speaking to your kids disparagingly. So it's the topic is, she said what? Okay. So someone sent in that I want to vent about a mother speaking to their children harshly and in a very toxic way. I was in the grocery store and noticed a mother with her two very active children saying to them things like, shut your ugly ASS up, I'm going to beat your charcoal black ASS when we get home. I believe in disciplining your children. However, I don't think some of us realize how damaging and traumatizing this is to a child and their self-worth and self-esteem. I think it's okay to scare your children straight without putting them down about their physical appearance and making them feel low about the color of their skin. Abuse usually starts at home from the parents that don't even realize they are being abusive. And so I know Tia's gonna have a lot to say about this particular event, but I'm gonna go ahead and put my 2 cents out there. So I think parents, they have a tough job, and they have a responsibility to ensure that they try to create a whole child, a whole being, in everything they do. And I know that it can be extremely frustrating to be a parent, but what we put into our children is what we're going to get out of them. And so you don't want to feed your kids like abusive and damaging like words to their psyche and their mentality, so that they grow up with those same like harms, and then it becomes cyclic and they harm as well. Like, you need to ensure that when you speak to your kids, you speak to them in the same way that you would want someone to speak to you, because you are developing a being who you want to grow up to be healthy and impactful in the world, and you want that impact to be something positive. So what you put into them needs to be positive. So we need to be mindful of what we say to our children and what we say to each other, just as a matter of course. Like, what you put out into the world is what you're going to get back, and so you have to ensure that you're putting your kids out into the world fully clothed with positive thoughts about who they are, high self-esteem, and so that they can conquer all of the things that you want your children to conquer.
Yeah, I can agree with that. You do have to be very mindful of what you say to these kids nowadays, because they are like sponges. They will repeat it the same exact way you said it. Exactly. So, yeah, you do have to be very mindful.
I mean, I definitely agree, but I don't want parents to think that they aren't allowed to express their disappointment to their children. Words hurt. You know how we used to say, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never. And they do. That's a lie, because words hurt and they damage. But as a parent, you are allowed to say, I'm frustrated right now, and this is why. I'm disappointed in your behavior, and this is why. So I mean, I don't want to give the message of parents thinking everything needs to be said like flowers and roses and, cutesy, language. You can say, here's a life lesson. You're frustrating me because you're doing this, and I don't like that. So unless you want me to get upset or unless you want consequences, then you need to stop doing that. Because I do believe in discipline in children, but the words have to match also the maturity of the child, right? So the way I talk to my 3-year-old would be very different than the way I talk to my 7-year-old.
Right.
Just choose your words wisely.
Yeah.
Choice words.
Oh, you're gonna be quiet on this one?
I am not. I was waiting on y'all to get done.
No, ma'am. Speak
No.
on, sister.
I was waiting on y'all. I am not with calling children out of their name in no way, shape, form, or fashion. And I'm a mother who talk really rough. I just talk rough in general. But I can't see calling the beauty that is within my kids, calling them anything other than the beauty that they are. Now I am going to say, who the hell
Left the gate open.
put mayonnaise on my wall? I'm going to say that. And it's not going to be rosy. It's not going to be beautiful. It's going to come out just like that. Who the hell put mayonnaise on my wall? But I ain't going to call them. Which one of y'all ugly, black?
Right.
Yeah.
That's
I
crazy.
can't destroy the beauty that is in them, because it's just like it's just like planting a seed and trying to grow it with vinegar. It'll never grow. You gotta use water, you gotta use something sweet, you gotta treat them the way that they deserve. But at the end of the day, I'm gonna talk hard. It's not gonna be all roses. That's just not what it is, because children will be children, and sometimes we are allowed to be human as parents.
Absolutely.
But we're never allowed to take away their beauty.
Right.
The minute we take away their beauty, we have basically destroyed our own, because they are a product of us. So if my daughter is feeling some way about her looks, then it's a reflection of how I've treated her
Mhm.
Right.
or how her
Yeah.
father has treated her.
Right.
Because ain't nobody gonna tell my kids they're more beautiful than me and their dad.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna cuss.
Especially
I'm gonna say who put that mayonnaise on my wall.
Yeah.
Especially if
Also-
there's mayonnaise on the wall.
And also, you want to be respected. So you have to give respect in order to get it too.
Right.
So you
Right.
just
I
can't
didn't mean
go
to yell.
around
Cut
dishing
that
it
yellow
out like
part
that. You know.
Yeah.
Gotta be
Yeah, the
very
name calling is a
mindful.
lot. That's a lot. That name calling
yeah.
is a
You
lot.
can't take your beauty away
Very
from you.
mindful.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely gonna cuss.
No, and I think it's fine to, you know, be forceful with your speech, but you're cultivating
Mhm.
something, and you need to cultivate it with the highest integrity. And you have to like let your kids, their self-esteem is like really all they have
Yeah.
is their self-esteem.
That's
Once
all
you
you have.
destroy it,
Yeah, you don't want to break that.
you
Yeah.
it's so hard to
To
put
get
it
it
back
Get it back,
together.
yeah.
And who
Once
knows
you
how
destroy
long it would take.
to get it back.
And
Yeah.
then they start
Sometimes
looking
it
for
never
other
comes
people
back.
to build up their
Build their
self-esteem
self-esteem,
versus
exactly.
it starting from home.
It starts
Right.
at home.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. And they don't even look for it, they just already know.
Right.
And you're trying to push on to them that they're beautiful, but the damage has already been done.
Right.
So
Exactly.
they broken for the world.
And you're right. You and your husband, or if you're a single parent, it starts with you and what you give my child, what I'm giving you, or whatever. I know, like I was telling you guys, my mom, she was always, "You're amazing." So I believe it. Y'all know I act like I believe it.
I know that's
Yeah,
right. Nothing less
you do.
than amazing.
Nothing less. Thank you. All right.
Next bit.
Oh my God.
You amazing girl.
Thank you, girl. Thank
You was the next Shamala
She doesn't need another one
another
of your amazing. She has
Shamala.
several of them
Amen.
built up.
Amen.
Several.
Shamala.
So in the pantry, they all over the place. in the house. She don't need any more added.
Right.
No backsies. I gave it to her. She gotta have it now.
Yeah.
So the last bit of the night is called S.O.S. And this is from a young lady, and it says, "I'm not sure if it's a thought or feeling of me knowing my worth, but still allowing myself to not be valued by others. I feel trapped, but continue to keep a smile because my child is watching. I usually do things for other people and sacrifice so much, but still feel so empty inside. There are people around me who don't even realize something is wrong. It appears that I am okay, but I don't feel like I know my purpose anymore. I help people and participate in charity events, but I honestly don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. I don't know if it's the environment, the lack of family here, or just being drained. I don't have anyone I trust, and I feel like I'm just being pulled." And I think a lot of us, most of us, may have felt this way once upon a time. I like to call her, she's a nurture by nature. She is an example of a person that nurture everyone through the role of sister, a friend, a daughter, a mother, wife, a girlfriend, and even a co-worker or employee. She's still giving, right? She's the type of person who show up for everyone through the same roles, but continue to feel that emptiness, so she find more to give to. The hardest thing about this is that she's the most important person, and she's the one that is missing. And it's not your role, it's you as a human. She's missing that piece. So I'm challenging her to reconnect to herself and reconnect through God. He will show her and uncover her purpose and her value in her soul, raw form. It's hard because we feel like we always have to do, like we have no time to do. We have no time to think. We have no time to, do what's best for us, but we have to make the time. It is S.O.S. There is no negotiation. It has to be done. Because the minute that you stop doing that is the minute you lose yourself. And if you lose yourself and you go too far, you're not going to be able to come back. And that same child that you're smiling for will see and feel all of it.
Yeah.
And so my challenge to her is to find the time and space to show up for her until she appears, and she needs to hold on to herself. And once she's found that, honestly, she'll be able to keep it.
Well, Shamala Namana. Do I need to say anything else? Shamala Namana.
Say that.
Wait a minute.
Let her know she's a nurturer by nature.
Nurture by nature.
calling on you, they obviously need you, and they appreciate you for it. They need you. Keep doing it.
And I think that we've
No,
had
no.
that theme in a lot of
Don't
our
keep
discussions.
doing it.
Yeah.
I think we've had that theme in a lot of our discussions about you have to take care of yourself
Yeah.
first
Yeah.
in order to take care of others.
Mhm.
And you're going to have to take the time out to look and make sure you're okay. And our last episode, we talked about asking for help.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And and it shows that you're strong when you ask for help. Sometimes you might just have to like take the time to ask someone to help you out
Mhm.
so that you can give yourself time to like reconnect with who you are.
Mhm.
And so-
Absolutely.
And I think that has been like a constant theme, especially in this environment,
Mhm.
that we've all experienced lately, where it seems to be very oppressive right now.
Mhm.
And so you have to like take time and you have to breathe.
Yeah.
You have to breathe.
Yeah. And I think we talked about earlier wearing too many hats in one setting.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, it's just impossible. And you have to be effective with all your hats on.
Right.
You know, you still have to be the best mom, the best wife. You still have to be a great employee. Like, you still have to be a great friend when your friend calls. Like, you are stretched.
Yeah.
And so it's up to you to say, I can't. I won't. I refuse to. Not right now.
Right.
You know, that's hard, but it's
Yeah.
doable. You can do
You
it,
can-
though.
yeah.
Yeah.
Take care of you first.
And so, on that note, we will say that we have really, really enjoyed our conversation with you guys again in the ventilation room. Thank you all for opening up to us. It is so nice to engage with you and engage with each other about all the different things that we know that people have frustrations about. And if we can offer any type of solution to an issue, we really want to have the opportunity to do so. So continue to submit your events. We appreciate it thoroughly. You can submit your events on several different platforms. We have our Facebook page, The Ventilation Room. We also have Instagram, The Ventilation Room. We have our email address. If you want to submit anonymously, you want to submit to theventilationroom.vr@gmail.com. You can also submit on our Facebook page through Messenger as well. And you can watch us on YouTube, so at the Ventilation Room. So please, follow us, comment, subscribe, and join us again in our next upcoming episode. And we really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah.
Vent, 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 vent,
Bye.
vent, vent, vent. Bye.